Inadequate adjective, they say not enough by comparison. Measured and found wanting like love is a ruler, and I came up an inch short. It feels like shrinking in rooms you once filled with laughter, like second guessing your name when they stop saying it with pride, like holding brilliance in your palms while someone asks, is that all? It's the way my chest tightens whenever it goes unseen, the way I apologize for needing, for dreaming, for taking up space. Inadequacy feels like standing naked in a crowd, every flaw amplified, every strength turned down. It's when somebody else's expectations start living in your mouth, and you repeat their doubts like they're facts, like they're yours. But hear me now, I was never lacking, I was just listening to the wrong voice, just listening to the wrong voice. Sometimes it's not the world, it's a person who hands you love with conditions, who praises you quietly but critiques you loud. They don't say you're not enough, they say you could be better, you should be further. Why aren't you liking? Stop short of your name. You start auditioning for approval, turning your soul into a resume, trying to earn rest, trying to earn safety. That's when inadequacy digs in, makes a home in your mirror, passes a who can mute discomfort with motivation and love with survival. Inadequacy feels like running on a broken leg, still being told to hurry, still being judged instead. Supposed to become your unpaid debt, and you carry it until your back forgets what a ride feels like. But listen, pressure doesn't prove worth, pain isn't a prerequisite for love. Here's the truth they don't teach you: inadequacy isn't a fact, it's a story told by people who needed you smaller to feel taller. Yeah, you don't overcome it by fixing yourself, you overcome it by refusing to lie, by asking who taught me I was incomplete, and handing that belief back. I am not behind, I am not defective, I am not late, I am not too much, I am exactly aligned. I don't need to be chosen, I choose me. I don't need to be validated, I am valid. I don't need to prove my worth, I live it. Inadequacy tried to name me, but I answered anyway, with a voice that cracks and a heart that stays. I stopped asking permission to be proud of my pace, to take up space, to be whole without explain. I am not almost, I am not lacking, I am not a draft, I am the final version. Finding the love, yeah, finding the love without a dream. And that it is a no longer applies, not because I changed, but because I finally saw myself clearly. Steps off, baby, this ain't just a vibe, it's a sanctuary. You just walked into the Love Palace. Welcome to a daily dose of D. Wrap yourself in satin truth. This love ain't rushed, it's velvet smooth. Silk on your spirit, rose in your mouth. Let me show you what healing's really about. Ooh, she don't play with pleasure, nah. Only pours it where it's earned. Let it burn slow. A daily dose of D. Let the love run deep and free. One touch and you'll believe. She's the calm, she's the heat, she's the peace you need. Here in the Love Palace, where even broken ships sail smooth. Anchor down, baby, daily dose of D. Your prescription to feel seen. No refills, just show up and receive. Let your ships drift into healing seas. We don't chase waves, we ride them. She don't beg, she just glows.
Yeah, we got to slow this one all the way down because inadequacy, don't rush, it lingers. It'll wait till the lights are off, till the phone's face down, till you finally alone with your thoughts. Inadequate is the word that don't care how resilient you look. It doesn't care how much you accomplish. It don't care how many people clap for you. It's that feeling of not good enough. If you ever had a job interview or looked at social media or even just tried to assemble something, furniture, a clock, a TV, and felt like you didn't measure up, this one's for you. Let's unpack it. It whispers, but it's enough though. And tonight, we're not silencing the whisper. We're not fighting it. We're listening because sometimes the thing hurting you is the same thing trying to teach you. Welcome to Daily Dose of Dee. We don't rush healing and we don't lie to ourselves. Grand rising, grand afternoon, or grand evening, depending on what time of day you're watching Daily Dose of Dee. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everyone's beginning of the week is doing well. We are now at Tuesday. And today here at Daily Dose of Dee, we're going to talk about thoughts, the thoughts that I'm having in my mind. No, we're going to call this Thoughts of Tuesday today, okay? We're going to get right into this dialogue. So, with that being said, the word of the day today is inadequate, lacking the quality or quantity required insufficient for a purpose of a person unable to deal with a situation or with life. And then don't forget the quote of the day. Our fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond measure. Yes, we're going to get right into it. So, the title of this episode of Daily Dose of Dee, 180th episode, just to be exact, is Why We Feel Not Good Enough and How to Stop It. Okay? So, what really is it does inadequate mean? We're going to go through that again. So, let's really sit with this word, okay? Inadequate, inadequate means not enough, but the definition alone don't do it justice at all. It shows up in real life because nobody wakes up saying, "Grand rising, I'm adequate." That's not how it works. Nah, it creeps through comparison. It shows up when you look at somebody else's progress and start questioning your own. When you hear somebody your age doing something you haven't done, when you feel like life handed everybody else a manual for scripture. Inadequate is not loud failure, it's quiet doubt. And what makes it tricky? Inadequacy is always attached to an expectation. Somebody's expectation, society's expectation, your parents' expectation, your own unrealistic expectation. So the real question is, am I inadequate? The real question is, according to who? Because a lot of us are calling ourselves inadequate based on rules we never even agreed to. So let's go deeper into the origin of the word and why it hits so deep, okay? Because I found this very, very interesting. Let's go deeper into the root because this is where understanding brings relief. The Latin word, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, adequantus, means equal, level, and balance. So when you say you feel inadequate, what you're really saying is, I don't feel equal. So for those of that are what we call a little nerdy, right? The word actually is quite transparent. It comes from the Latin word adequantus, meaning equal and made equal. When we add the prefix in, which means not or opposite of, we get inadequate, not equal to what is required. It's literally built into the word, a lack of equality or sufficiency. And that's heavy, right? That's deep. Because equality isn't about talent, it's about worth. When you don't feel equal, you start questioning whether you belong in the room, in a relationship, or in a simple conversation. That's why inadequacy can make people shrink, feel little, or overperform. Some people go quiet and some people go hard, but both are trying to prove the same thing. I deserve to be here. So, here at Daily Dose of Dee, belonging, and here at Daily Dose of Dee, here's the truth. Belonging is not earned through suffering. Let me go ahead and say that again. Belonging is not earned through suffering. So now let's ground this. Let's get this grounded, okay? Some things are objectively inadequate, not emotionally, but structurally, okay? A job that pays you less than the surviving cost is inadequate. Don't you agree? A school teacher, a school system that teaches obedience instead of understanding is inadequate. Now let's talk about relationships that drains you but never pours back. It is inadequate. So there's different things and situations that inadequacy could look like, okay? So we used to describe things all the time. So for example, if you're trying to build a shelter for the winter or, make your house better, a storage, you have to, you only have, if you only have like thin plastic sheets, right? Your materials are inadequate because you're trying to build it for the winter. If you study time for a major exam and you only do 15 minutes, your preparation was inadequate. It's an objective measure of insufficient resources. You see that? So how does this to relate to people and the feelings? Well, it hits a little bit different when it comes to that, right? When it's about us, it's a whole different thing. When we feel inadequate, it means we perceive ourselves as lacking the necessary ability, qualities, and skills to meet a standard, an expectation, or a challenge. The key word there is perceive. The feeling is real, even if the lack isn't. And to give a quick example of the technical side, right? Insufficient simply means not enough. So, example, if you need $20 to go buy something, right? And you only have 15, your funds are insufficient, right? Your bank account could be insufficient. Insufficient is the lack of quantity. Inadequacy is the stating result state of not measuring up. But did you notice how we talk about things? We don't say the worker is inadequate. That don't even sound right. We don't say the worker is inadequate. We say the system failed. Somewhere along the way, we forgot to give ourselves the same grace. Sometimes the environment isn't built for you. Sometimes the role outgrew you. And sometimes the season just expired. That's not a character flaw. That's information. So let you sink all this information that I gave you. Let me let it sink into your body and your spirit and your soul. So just remember, you're not behind, you're just human. So we're going to continue this conversation right after this message. Thank you for tuning in to Daily Dose of Dee.
Hey y'all, so today's word of the day is inadequate. Why is that the word of today, and what does that mean? Well, we finna get into it. Inadequate means the lack of quantity or quality to meet a requirement. You can also think of it as a person who lacks meeting standards and expectations. So let's talk about it. Oftentimes, you will always run into somebody who is inadequate, especially at a job, okay? And nowadays, there's a lot of people who are inadequate. I don't care what you say. You're not applying yourself, okay? So, on the flip side, if you don't want to be inadequate, we finna talk about it. Number one, assess yourself, look at yourself, and know who you are. Because being inadequate also causes people to have low self-worth. So assess yourself, look at yourself, be on a schedule, okay? Get rid of the old habits and the poor mindset and the mindset that you cannot do this and do that or get rid of that, okay? Because if you think and act as I'm inadequate, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I can't do this, you are. And I'm not being mean, but you are, because what goes on in your head and what goes on in your mind, your thoughts become your words become your actions, and your actions is what's going to make up your life and your whole reality. So if you're thinking in a poor mindset that you can't do this or you can't do that or you can't fulfill this or you can't fulfill that, that's how you're going to become, and that's going to be your life. Think highly of yourself, and don't forget about them daily affirmations, because that's what's going to help you out too. If you want to be able to fulfill a purpose, to fulfill a task, and to have the quantity and quality to be able to meet a requirement or whatever,
Everybody, make sure you subscribe to my goddaughter on TikTok. It's, you know what? I got to drop her link. I think it's SI on TikTok. She be giving them words of the day too, just like her godmama, and having all the nice TikToks and fun things, okay? So go ahead and subscribe to her over at TikTok, okay? Good information from the group. So let's go ahead and get into our more deeper into our conversation. We're going to talk about how feeling inadequate as a person. This is where it gets real personal. Feeling inadequate sounds like I should be doing more. I shouldn't be struggling with this. I'm running out of time. And here's the most dangerous part: inadequacy disguises itself as, listen to this, y'all, motivation. Mhm. Inadequacy disguises itself as motivation. It tells you if you just work harder, heal faster, achieve more, then you'll be enough. But enough never arrives that way. Many people who feel inadequate aren't lazy, they're exhausted, they're tired. They've been carrying expectations that don't even belong to them. They've been trying to earn rest, and they've been auditioning for less. You were never meant to prove your worth. You were meant to live it, baby. Okay? So, when someone is actually inadequate, let's talk about it. Okay? So, let's slow this one all the way down because people hear this topic and get all defensive. Did y'all hear what I just said? When we're gonna talk about when someone is actually inadequate. Mm-hmm. So slow down because people hear this and get, oh, hold on, she about to talk about that. Well, sometimes I'm saying this with love, okay? A person is inadequate for a specific role, situation, or even a season. Not as a human being, not in their essence, but in their readiness. Think about it. It's like this: you wouldn't hand your car keys to someone who never learned how to drive, would you? And then shame them for crashing? That's not cruelty. That's reality. Skill gaps exist. Emotional gaps exist. Awareness gaps exist. Someone can be inadequate as a leader because they don't listen, inadequate as a partner because they avoid accountability, inadequate as a parent because they're still parenting from their own womb. But here's the important part: inadequacy is information, not identity. It says there's something here that needs development. hmm And the problem, here's the problem. The problem is when people lie to themselves about who they are. When ego says, I'm ready, but life keeps saying, not yet. Growth starts when honesty enters the room. Okay. So, what are some key characteristics of inadequacy? Let's talk about how inadequacy moves. People who feel inadequate often live in extreme. Mhm. They're over apologizing, not because they did something wrong, but because they feel like they are something wrong. Let me say that again. They over apologize, not because they did something wrong, because they feel like they are something wrong. They over explain, giving backstories, footnotes, disclaimers, and then hoping clarity will earn acceptance. They overwork, stay busy so nobody questions their value. And there's the other side. Some people mask inadequacy with dominance, loud voices, control, my way or no way is what they'll say. Not because they're confident, but because vulnerability feels dangerous. You can hear phrases like, I already know that. That's just how I feel. People just don't get me. They are often shields, not the actual truth. What does it look like when someone is struggling with deep seated inadequacy? What does that look like? Well, you try to be a perfectionist or a procrastinator. There are two sides of the same coin. A person either tries to be perfect and silence the inner critic, or they procrastinate out of paralyzing fear that whatever they do won't be good enough either. It also looks like constant comparison. They have a hard time celebrating their own wins because they are always using other achievements as their own benchmark for success. They also have difficulty accepting praise and gratitude. They often diminish compliments because they truly don't believe they deserve them or they feel they were lucky. You ever complimented somebody and they say, oh, it wasn't that, I'm not that good. Oh, you look so nice today. Oh, I tried and all that. They do that, dismiss the compliments because they don't truly believe they deserve them. Or they feel they feel lucky if like something goes wrong. Oh, that was just luck. Not because they did it. Excuse me. And the other characteristic is avoidance of new challenges. They stick to what is safe because failure confirms their deepest fear that they are inadequate. They don't challenge themselves. They stay in that same lane. You know, I used to be that way. When I worked at my job, right? I said, I'm just going to stay in this department and write this out. I didn't want to elevate myself because I was just like, I'm good. I didn't want to fail. But you don't want to be inadequate. You want to always try something new. Keep trying it. Try new things. This will help you sway from being inadequate. Okay. So maybe some of these things you recognize in yourself, or maybe somebody you love. So I want you to stay gentle, stay calm. This is not a blame game that we're doing here. We are going to break some more of this down, and talk about the root causes of inadequacy. I'm gonna go give me some water while we on this break too, because I feel like I'm about to cough, y'all. We'll be right back at Daily Dose of Dee right after this message.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Hey everybody, it's the time that we do our product for today. The product that I'm going to show you today is from Shamaka Essentials. Now the product I'm going to show you is actually comes in the Lavish Light gift box. So, I love the product, okay? So the Lavish Light gift box is the Rooted Calm. And in that gift box, you get the Rooted Calm Body Moisture, okay? Right there. This is one of the products that is in the Lavish Light gift box. Rooted Calm, which is my favorite one. So here is the body butter. Now look at this, y'all. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. And it's so creamy. It smells good. And so Rooted Calm, for me, it helps me to be grounded and stay focused. So you can get this in the Lavish Light gift box, right? I don't know. You might get it on the other end. I don't know. I don't. You might get it by itself, but go ahead and get the Lavish Light gift box, okay? That's one of the products that is in there. That's the product that I am featured today. Rooted Calm is one of my favorite. That's the Lavish Life gift box I got, because when I tell you it helps me to stay focused and calm, it does. So when you get an opportunity, go on over there to Shamaka Essentials. That everything on the website is 30% off. Now is the time to do it. Go check out all the products, okay? And we'll see you at Shamaka Essentials. Don't forget to put the discount code, the big 30. Tell them Goddess D told you about it. All right? Thank you. Welcome back, my beautiful family. Thank you for staying tuned in to Daily Dose of Dee. Today on this Thoughts of Tuesday, we are talking about an app. And if you didn't hear the first part, go ahead and run that back, okay? It's some very good information. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the roots of an app, okay? Because this is where the healing really starts. Once you start getting to the roots of things, this is where the healing really starts. Most inadequacy didn't begin in adulthood. Okay? It began in environments where love was conditioned and controlled. You got praise when you performed, and you got attention when you behaved. You got silence when you struggle. So your nervous system in our body learn don't fail, don't slow down, and don't disappoint. And on top of that, add rejection. Being picked last, being overlooked, being told you have potential, but you don't have the support. Then stack comparison culture on top of all of that. Now you got grown people measuring their inside against other people's outside. Did y'all hear that? So we got grown people measuring their inside, who they are, against other people's outside, their outside appearance. Inadequacy is often a survival strategy that once kept you safe, but now keeps you safe. So where did this feeling come from? It's usually a combination of different things, right? Like I said, childhood experiences. You can have a child, often in childhood, it's rooted early, right? Because you have having hyper critical parents, teachers, caregivers, or even growing up in an environment where love and approval felt conditioned on conditional, on performance, right? Also, we have the social comparison. Oh, the media trap, y'all. The media trap. I talk about this all the time. In today's society, we're constantly bombarded with highlighted highlight reels from other people's lives on social media, right? Leading us to believe that everyone else has it figured out. So when you have this inadequate feeling, this is one of the root cause, because people are fearing, or not everybody now, but they might make it seem like they never felt inadequate or it never had no issues because they're perceiving or living a life that looks just good and perfect and everything is okay, and it's not. So social comparison could be a root cause of it. Then I talked about mindset, having a fixed mindset, believing that our abilities are static. If we fail, it means we are fundamentally broken, rather than just needing to learn again. Okay? So those are the things: childhood experiences, social media comparison, and a fixed mindset of that if you make a mistake, you're broken, instead of knowing that the mistake is just to help you grow. Okay? So, see, how do people act when they feel inadequate? Are you asking me that? Okay, I'm going to do it. Behavior tells the truth faster than the word. Some people, they withdraw, they cancel plans, they stop sharing ideas, play small so they don't get judged at all. Oh, that was bars though. Some people, they become hypocritical of others and even to themselves. Because if they point out flaws first, maybe nobody will notice theirs. Some people become performative, always joking, always busy, always good, but never honest. And some people act superior, not because they believe it, but because they're terrified to be exposed. When the internal alarm bell goes off, our behavior changes. And we often see one of two extremes. We either overcompensate, I've done that before, let me raise my hand, working tirelessly, becoming overly boastful, talking on too much, taking on too much, excuse me, and talking too much, but taking on too much, or becoming overly critical of others to make themselves feel taller. Also, withdrawing. You can shut down. I've done this one too. You can isolate yourself. Avoid situations where there might be judged or fail or genuinely displaying now. So in both of these cases, overcompensating or withdrawing, the core motivation is the same: protecting the fragile ego from conforming the inadequacy. So now, once you understand all this, you stop taking everything personal. You see the wound instead of just the behavior. Okay? So let me talk about this real quick here. Remember how at the beginning I mentioned how insufficient, when you have insufficient funds? But let me do a comparison of insufficient versus inadequate. This distinction can change how you talk to yourself. Insufficient means there isn't enough. It's that simple. Not enough money, not enough friends, not enough support. Inadequate means judged against a standard. You might feel inadequate at work, but the real issue might be insufficient training. You might feel inadequate as a parent, but the real issue might be insufficient support. See the difference? You're not broken, baby. You might be under resourced. So when the internal alarm bell goes off, our behavior changes. We often see one of two extremes. Like I said, overcompensating or withdrawal. In both cases, like I said, is to protect your ego. So understanding doesn't mean tolerating harm. Let's keep that real. Let's keep that above. It means seeing clearly. So, right after this break, we're going to keep going and talk about the pros and cons of inadequacy. Right after this message. Thank you for tuning in to Daily Dose of Dee.
Skin like velvet, oils got me blessed. Every drop a ritual, every move finesse. Candles lit steady, aura set high. When I walk in the room, watch the envy go. Essentials only keep it real, no stress.
She rooted in the rhythm of the trees. Talk sweet, pour, calm like teas. Queen cows with the herbs that speak. She the balance when your soul feel weak. From plant to place, she walk with grace. Tinctures that kiss you into place. This ain't a trend, this ancient flow. She don't heal you, she helps you.
We are back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Daily Dose of Dee. Make sure you still subscribe to Holistic Royalty by Pam. Like I said, we have made a transition, so she is going to be more active on YouTube, especially in 2026. But as you notice in that promo, Shamaka Essentials and Holistic Royalty have joined forces, so you can get your tinctures over at Shamaka Essentials as well. You can get, now if you're in the dirty South of Georgia and you want to get some Shamaka Essentials and some Holistic Royalty as well, Holistic Royalty has that. You just hit her up on IG at Holistic Royalty or at TikTok, and she can get those products right to you as well. Okay? Thanks. So, we've been talking about inadequacy, and I hope you guys have been enjoying this dialogue that we've been having. So before the break, I said we're going to talk about the pros and cons of inadequacy. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this conversation up, okay? So let's see here. Pros and cons of inadequacy. That might surprise you because inadequacy isn't all bad, right? Now, don't be looking at me through the side eye because inadequacy is not all that. And you know I'm always about duality, right? So let's talk about the cons, the big problem of it. It leads to burnout, mental health issues, shattered self-esteem. And most tragically, it stops you from pursuing your true potential. It's like a mental cage. Now the pros, the unexpected upside that y'all do. A healthy, mild dose of inadequacy is what drives us forward and what we call growth and motivator. So it spurs, you're not there yet, but could be, okay? It's the engine of self-improvement, professional development, and personal learning. The key is recognizing the difference between motivating whispers and a crashing yell. See how that works right there? Those are the pros and cons. So let's be honest. The cons are real. Inadequacy can lead to anxiety, burnout, self-doubt, and resentment. But on the other side, inadequacy can be a wake-up call to you, right? It can highlight where growth is needed, and it can push you to ask better questions. The danger isn't feeling inadequate. The danger is building a home there. Let me repeat that, Spirit. Repeat that. Okay. The danger isn't feeling inadequate. The danger is building a home there. Okay. So how all this talk that I did about inadequacy, how it looks on a person, how it looks on you, the pros, the cons, all that. How do we overcome becoming inadequate in a bad way? Healing inadequacy isn't about pretending you're confident. It's about building trust with yourself. You start by naming the standard you're measuring against. Who said it? Does it fit your values? Is it realistic? Then allow yourself to be a beginner without shame. You replace self punishment with self correction. You start rehearsing old failures. You stop rehearsing old failures. You start tracking growth instead of perfection. You don't heal inadequacy by bullying yourself into improvement. You heal it by safety, repetition, and truth. Being honest with yourself. So, okay. So how do we quiet the yell? I'm going to give you 4 practical ways that you can start doing right now today. You're going to acknowledge and then you're going to separate, right? When the thought pops up, say to yourself, I am having a feeling of inadequacy. Not, I'm inadequate. See the difference? You are not your feelings. Number 2, switch to a growth mindset. When you fail, shift your language from I am bad at this to I haven't learned that skill yet. The word yet is powerful, people. It turns failure into a temporary setback. Number 3, practice small wins. And instead of trying to tackle your biggest challenge, focus on the small, achievable tasks that you can do. Finish a difficult book, a chapter. Fix a small item in your home. Do a 10-minute workout instead of doing an hour workout. A chain of small things. Verified wins build foundational competence and chips away at that feeling of inadequacy. And the 4th one, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself like you would a close friend. Matter of fact, hug yourself right now. Hug yourself. You wouldn't tell a friend who failed a test, you're a failure and you'll never succeed. You would say, it's okay. You're going to figure it out. How can I help you? You can try it again. Give yourself the same grace you give to others. Y'all feel me? So, now that we talked about that, before I conclude, I want to give some talk about how to deal with someone who feels inadequate. Because sometimes the inadequate person is not us, okay? So here's the part where we can help someone. If you love someone who feels inadequate, the most powerful thing you can offer is emotional safety, not advice, not pressure, not comparison. Okay? Let me say that again. If you love someone who feels inadequate, the powerful thing that you can do is offer emotional safety, not advice, not pressure, not comparison. Safety, that looks like consistency. That looks like patience. That looks like letting them be imperfect around you. You don't rush someone's becoming, you witness it. Finally, what if it's not you, loved one? a colleague, or a friend. Avoid saying, don't just say, don't worry, you're great. But instead, because that sounds a little dismissive. Don't worry, you'll be great, right? Instead, say, I hear that you're feeling stressed out about this. Validate the feeling first. Offer specific evidence. Instead of general praise, point to the facts. Remember last year when you managed that big old project that you did? Remember last year when you started your business? That was incredible and complex. And you did it so brilliant. You were resilient. Give them concrete data points that contradict their inner narrative. Okay? Focus on the effort and not the outcome. Praise the hard work, resilience, and willingness to try. This is going to help the growth mindset and detaches their worth from their final result. Okay? So, the next time that you're feeling the feeling of inadequacy whispers in your ear, remember, it might be an uncomfortable motivator pushing you forward to grow. But it doesn't define you. You are enough, and you are capable of learning and growing. Okay? So, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Daily Dose of Dee today about inadequacy. I hope it was able to help you learn if you're feeling inadequate, how to deal with it, how to help someone that you love that feels inadequate, how to deal with it, and just the overall understanding of inadequacy. Okay? So, once again, I want to thank you for coming to Daily Dose of Dee. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button so you do not miss the episode of Daily Dose of Dee, okay? Or anything that happens at the low time. So, once again, remember your worth. Remember that you are powerful. You are great. You are resilient. And when that inadequacy starts to whisper in your ear, you raise your voice and your head up high and say, I am powerful. Use your I am information, okay? Your affirmations, okay? So I'm going to close you with a couple of things. Peace, love. Thank you for coming to the Love Palace. I will see you real soon. And these are the thoughts of Tuesday here today at Daily Dose of Dee. And I hope I gave you something to do. See you real soon.
In order to stop rejecting yourself, you have to build a belief system that is rooted in self-compassion and self-acceptance, and we got to delete the shame. Let's create a meaningful mantra. Number one, it must be something you believe right now. We're not gaslighting. We are reprogramming. And number two, it must give you a feeling of relief. And the reason why this is so important is because you're so used to criticizing yourself, so that if you like, I love my body, I love myself, your brain's going to be like, no, we don't. We have been criticizing ourselves for 20 years. I don't believe that garbage. So you got to start with something real. You have to say something you truly believe. And so let me give you some examples of meaningful mantras. I'm getting better every day. Today is going to be a good day. I'm proud that I'm trying to be kinder to myself. I can do things that feel difficult. I can stop criticizing myself. I deserve to feel good about myself. I deserve to look in the mirror and see a person that I care about. Doesn't matter if your pants fit. Doesn't matter if you've made mistakes. Doesn't matter if you have wrinkles or not. If you have acne or freckles. These statements are still true. You are a good person. You do deserve to feel good in your body. You are practicing being kinder to yourself. One small mantra, one small thought, one moment of grace at a time. Because that's how real change happens.
visualized dancing in your eyes. Herbal healing flowing through my veins. Smoke of the ancestors calling my name. Every pull of prayer, every breath release. Lavish lights bring the body peace. Lavish lights burning soft and sweet. Chemical essentials where the spirit meets. Grounded in the smoke, lifted in the night. Felt love like she don't just love, she heals in key. Let go, let flow. Daily dose of Dee. In the land free. In the love palace, ships dock even key. Yeah, we guide the tide. God is deep. Whispering back when your heart needs reminding. D is divine, D is daily, D is love, a daily dose of steps up.